So, today we're going to talk about a church in Ravenna, Italy called San Vitale. So, we're looking at a very old church from the 6th century. It was made during the rule of Justinian, who we talked about. He was a Roman emperor. And we talked about him when we talked about Hagia Sophia. But unlike Hagia Sophia, this church is not located in Istanbul, Turkey. It's located in Italy, in Ravenna. And here's a map of where that is. Now, it's believed that Justinian never came to Ravenna, but in order to assert his power over the West, he places an image of himself and his wife inside the church. So this is similar to other Roman emperors who plastered the streets with sculptures depicting them as how they wanted to look. Keep in mind the average person did not see the emperor. This is before cameras or TV. The way that the emperor would get his image across was through artwork. Now, before we talk about the mosaics inside, let's talk about the church as an actual artwork itself. This church is particularly interesting in the sense that it's a round church. The focus is on the center of the church, which is the round part. So the church is an octagon, essentially, which means it has 8 sides. It's actually a double octagon, one placed on top of another. It's made from brick, and brick that was actually reused from old Roman buildings. On the outside, we see that it has a lot of windows. Again, this allows there to be a lot of light coming into the church. Light illuminates the amazing mosaics inside, and light is also essential in Byzantine art. Also keep in mind, this is before electricity. So let's think about this being illuminated by candlelight, perhaps, right? So this is a completely different time. A lot of things we have today, they didn't have. Another thing to keep in mind is that we usually think about churches as linear or more rectangular in shape. Like we usually have this idea of walking toward an altar. In this case, the whole structure is pretty much round with an area where the altar is, and above this is a round mosaic, and we'll talk about that mosaic. So taking a look inside San Vitale, you can see from this image here that is plastered with mosaics. And mosaics are small pieces of colored glass finely placed together to create an image. The way that they would create this gold effect is actually by sandwiching a clear piece of glass and then a piece of gold leaf and then another clear piece of glass. So they would sandwich a piece of gold leaf in between, and that would create this gold effect. This image here is in the apse of the church, so it's that round mosaic, and it's a depiction of Christ dressed elegantly in purple. Now, the purple today looks kind of brown or black, but it was once purple, and purple was a rare color, and it really would have been expensive. So purple usually represents royalty and divinity. So Christ is sitting on top of this circle, which is an orb. It's supposed to represent the universe or the earth. And beneath him flows the 4 rivers of paradise. And underneath him is plants and green. We usually see the earth represented this way. On the right hand, he's holding a crown or a wreath, and he's handing this to Stan Vitalis, who is the martyr of this city. And on the left, we see Ecclesias, who founded and sponsored the building. So this is the man who paid for the church to be built. And we see him actually holding a representation of the church and handing it to an angel beside Christ. So Christ is the figure in the middle. And we see him, he's holding the book of the Apocalypse with the 7 seals visible to us.